Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Beith. I'm a managing director at Apax, and I'm in charge of our $1.1 billion tech growth fund in Europe. We were delighted about a year ago to invest in Solita, which is a cutting-edge data company based in the Nordics. And with me here is Ossi Lindroos.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Ossi Lindroos. I'm heading our international expansion. Already quite long together with Solita, and since the 2.5 last years, I have been bringing the Solita journey to other European countries, namely to Sweden, and here now ramping up here actively in Germany.
And in terms of what you do, you do cutting-edge data development and design, but what does that really mean in practice, and can you give us maybe a couple of good real-world examples?
Yeah, well, basically, those of you who really carefully listen to the Bossware show, I think that even though we didn't build that journey, that they kind of transformed themselves of being on-prem to cloud, that's something that we could have built. So we are helping quite a lot of enterprise customers to become, let's say, data-driven or cloud-driven and so forth. So we are helping the customers to change the way they are doing things. And I have a couple of examples. Like yesterday, we just launched the most recent case with one of the leading hospitals in joint replacement surgery, where to whom we built a kind of completely new kind of digital product, which is helping their doctors to, together with their patients, to see kind of whether he or she should be having a hip or knee implant, and or whether that surgery shouldn't be done at all because of the health concerns and so forth. So this is kind of a good example of the things what we do. So we did an ideation phase for them. We created a business design model for them. We created a data platform for them, and on top of that, we created machine learning algorithms, and then we started to learn them, and now they are having 35,000 surgeries with all the kind of post-surgery kind of understanding of whether it worked or not, and that's now being used in a clinical use, and it's the first CE marked product ever implemented in a hospital world of that area in the whole world. And we basically did something similar to you guys when we built a platform where these guys are scanning the companies of the world, kind of a good investment potential and so forth, based on different machine learning algorithms, and that's then provided to your employees prior to they are then contacting the potential companies. So these kind of things we do.
It's always good when you eat your own cooking, and when we were looking for someone to help us with, as Ossi mentioned, machine learning for our investment process, these were the guys we thought were the best. And I mean, for many years you were growing quite nicely under the radar in Finland, but at some point partners like Amazon Web Services and Snowflake, literally dragged you across to other countries to help them sort of collaborate on projects. What is it that they saw that you were doing differently, and is that having traction internationally?
I think that it's the strong capabilities in the era of data, basically, and in cloud. So they saw us a good partner that they can grow together with in other countries. And kind of an example of that is that when we as a company are growing 25 to 30% a year, our data and cloud offering is growing now like 50 to 60% a year, and internationally we are growing 150% a year. So kind of they saw the expertise in us and the kind of help that they can grow together with our experts.
And an unnamed large Swedish car company once described you guys as being the most cool company that they've ever worked with. What do you think makes you distinctive? And when I think about the employee NPS, it sort of compares to an Amazon customer NPS type of score. How do you maintain that level of excitement and enthusiasm, particularly when you scale to a level of over 800 employees?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it has been we are already quite long in the game, so 22 years in business, and it has been always kind of super important for us not to become a corporation. and to have flat hierarchies, to give kind of power to the people, and so forth. And I think that it kind of we are constantly having that discussion whether we are too big for that already, and we keep pushing and keep staying in that position that we, the better people we have, the better solutions we are providing, and we cannot have good employees if we are not kind of true to our values and not kind of recruiting the best talent there is. And once you start to slip from that, then you start to lose the game.
And when Apax invested, you went from having a domestic Finnish investor base to having an international tech growth fund. What was the changes that you sort of felt?
I think that we were in good hands before, but I think that the kind of the biggest change has been that you guys really understand our business and the kind of dynamics of the business and what's meaningful. So the kind of conversations we have had about the steering the company and what kind of where to go next, that's always to the point. The other part, I think that especially abroad, kind of having an owner which is well recognized and kind of well known, kind of gives us this sort of a balance sheet credibility that we are kind of like partners that can be trusted, and also of course kind of taking the good advisors on board and kind of giving us a kind of good help on our growth path has been helping quite a lot as well.
And you see a lot of enterprise companies. What are they? They're all looking at trying to improve their sort of technology platforms. What's the next big thing that you're seeing?
Well, I think that kind of today I was following now like 5 or 6 last presentations, and everyone was talking about machine learning, to some extent artificial intelligence and so forth. I think that kind of what people and organizations start now to understand is that the foundation, the data foundations and platforms has to be there in order to make great machine learning projects or AI projects and so forth, to really utilize those technologies. So we will be seeing a lot of companies going, investing a lot for data platforms and data in general. This week only we have got 4 RFPs from large enterprises with the title, "Can you help us to become more data-driven?" And it's of course not only the technological platforms that have to be there, but also the cultural change, ways of working are changing and so forth. So it's a kind of a transformational process to create those kind of companies, but that will be the next big thing. From kind of tech investment perspective, I think that kind of we will be seeing, that's something that we don't do, but which I kind of advise you all to follow. I think that now it starts to be the time for augmented reality or mixed reality. So we will be starting to see real life use cases also in the business environment in that era during the next few years.
That's great. Well, maybe one final thought to leave you with. Solita's growing fantastically organically at the moment, and the growth rate has been accelerating. But at the same time, as we expand internationally, we're also interested in exciting M&A opportunities. So we've just announced the first small tuck-in acquisition in Stockholm, but we're now beginning to move into Germany. And if you know of any exciting data consultancies, then we'd love to meet them.
Yeah, exactly. Just give us a call.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks, guys.